Okay, this is problem number 11 on practice test 2. And the problem is draw the following atomic orbitals. And option A is the p sub z orbital. And this is the one that is given arbitrarily assigning one axis the z-axis, and we'll call the p orbital that is directed along that axis the p sub z. And that's pretty easy to do. I just simply draw the dumbbell, because the p orbitals are all shaped like dumbbells, and then label my axes. This is my x-axis, my y-axis, and my z-axis. And this is the one that is described by, because it's a p orbital, it has an m sub l equal to 1. So it's always going to have this type of a shape. And now, whether it's, which way it's facing, what distinguishes it as a p sub z is this has an m sub l, the magnetic quantum number, of 0. And so that means that quantum number describes the orientation. So this is, this would correspond to m sub l. This would be m sub l equals 0, and l is equal to 1. Okay, that's the p sub z. You don't need to include this on there, but you should be able to draw this. And the difference between drawing a p sub z and a p sub x or a p sub y would be just which direction, which orientation it has, and that would correspond to a different m sub l. Okay, and now the option B is the dx squared minus y squared. I personally like the d orbitals more than they're my favorite as far as drawing them. You should be able to draw s orbitals, p orbitals, and d orbitals. And there's 5 d orbitals. Most of them look like a clover leaf, the only exception being the dz squared, which I might draw here just for fun. But right now, let's do the x squared minus y squared. This one is going to have a clover leaf-like shape. So and it is going to be such that this one's particularly easy to draw because the lobes of the clover leaf are directed along I have my z-axis, I have my x-axis, and I have my y-axis. So this is sort of tweaked over this way. Another way to draw this would be like this. Or this is x, y, and z. So I bent it over this way to show that it's a clover leaf. And actually this would be the way I prefer to draw it, because this is a little clearer on the symmetry properties. These lobes of the clover leaf are directed along the x and y axes. That would be adequate. You should be able to draw all the p orbitals. The s orbital, which by the way is a simple sphere. That's any s orbital. It's going to look like that. Now the one, it's going to be an exception, so the dxy is going to be directed along the axes. The dxy would be the clover leaf, but then the lobes are in between all the axes, the x and y axes for the xy. Now the last one, my favorite, and which you should know how to draw, is, I'll draw over here, is the dz squared. And that one looks like a dumbbell going through a donut. So I have a torus, and this is the z-axis. And I have my x-axis here. So, although this would be acceptable, pictorially speaking, I prefer this one. This would be a better representation of this. But I'm not an art critic. It's going to carry the salient features as long as it's a clover leaf and it's oriented in the right direction. You should be able to draw the d orbitals, the p orbitals, and the s orbital. We won't worry about the f orbitals. That's it.